I'm telling you what's happening now. Guarda che sei a due.
Sì, sì, io sono abituato bene.
So I need you to understand one thing very well. This is animal bone, pig, veal, stuff like that. The animal bone, especially when it's been in the fridge for a long time, it dries up. And they already have a cortical which sometimes is 5 or 6 millimeter. So it doesn't represent.
Look here, look here. We don't have all this cortical, okay? So it's very hard, it's very strong to cut. with the
So
mallet.
I was saying,
I want to find a good place for you to simulate a good situation.
because if we are using a drill, we just go faster, we drill everything. A piezo, the same. Here we are shaping. Now, the magnetic mallet, the ideal situation is on the cadaver, because on the cadaver we have real bone. But when we work on these models, also to you, I'm going to ask you to find the right spot. Because if you try to split on 5 millimeters of cortical, you're just going to overeat the...
Oh, va bene, vicino qua si può fare.
Qua, for example, this side
This
is
area.
pretty good. Okay, and we will give you to every each of you veal, and this is the pig. As you can see, there is some meat. We have a scalpel if you want to remove the meat. The meat we keep it because it keeps the bone a little bit moist during the night. And we're trying also now with the 3D printing bone, everything, but that's not real. The best thing after the cadaver is this stuff, as long as you look for the right spot, okay? Another important thing, questo gliela devo dire tutta. These hand pieces, remember I told you they generate a big acceleration, a lot of power. And they are engineered to be working on patients, where you're giving maximum 20, 30 pulses for the entire operation. And then this goes in autoclave. In this situation, we are going to overuse it because it's going to be 2 of you each.
Will hit.
We're going to give like 200, 10 times more. You will feel that it gets a little bit hot. If it's too hot, you tell us, we're going to cool it down in 20 seconds. But I want you to understand why. Not gonna happen during surgery. During the surgery, it never happens.
There are the physiological stop, no?
Allora no, cominciamo a fare il coso qua.
Sì, stavo vedendo, non vado?
Vuoi fare il... No,
Cosa
cominciamo proprio tutto.
Ok.
Okay, we start. We show you and then after it's done, you're gonna do this on your...
Okay, so I'll show you the site preparation. Steven gave me an implant 3.3 and 11.5 millimeters of length. Okay, so we only need the first 2 instruments, but the implant is cylindric, not conical. So I have to enlarge more with the 3rd tips. Okay, so this is medullar bone. This is D4. Look, this a 2, power 2,
For one.
1, power 1. Let's
You
try.
put one.
1, power 1. See.
That's the low one.
The lower of the standard. Okay. If you push, of course, and the bone is D4, you enter, like with the drill. So I'm not pushing, okay? I'm not pushing, and I'm not pushing, and it's going. I'm not pushing. Yeah. I can change the direction because it's D4 now. I can go wherever I want, okay? But maybe here is harder and it's going. Of course, if you push, it go deeper, but never more than 1 millimeter. Okay, so the The laser marks are the same of Sweden Martinez, and the 11 is the thin black line.
No, sul centro.
Sul centro.
No, sull'altezza è tutto uguale.
Saltate tu qua.
Yes. The thin one in the middle laser mark.
Yes, the thin one.
Yeah. That's it, this one.
Ah,
Okay.
ok. So,
Gira
Eight.
poi anche verso degli altri che lo vedono bene.
ma non c'è la telecamera?
Ma non è da
Ok.
definizione.
Now we are 8.5, 10, double, 1 millimeter, 1 millimeter. Now is harder, but I'm power 1. 11, 11.5. So in this case, D4, we don't need to use more power. It's
I think it's already visible some kind of also densification around the implant site.
change the color, okay? So I'm using the 160.
Maybe.
Now, if I want to change the direction of the implant, I can change it. Okay, now I'm going in this direction, but I want to change. I move and go in a different direction. Okay. It's not going now. I'm seeing that are 3 times I'm pushing the pedal and the tips is not going on. So I asked to my assistant to turn please to power 2 and it's going. Okay. Now I know that the tip is smaller of the implant. So in this case we will need an extra tip is the 200. I'm going to 230 and there are the steps. So it's too wide. But I want to show you.
Wanna try?
See? We have the steps, so we need more power to push the bone because it's not a smooth surface. Okay, every step push the bone, so we need more power, 3 or 4. Now we are moving the bone lateral and apical. This is good for osteodensification, ridge expansion and sinus lift. Okay, I don't need more because the implant is 3.3 and we don't want the implant to spin. Okay, this is the site. No drill, no bone is lost,
No heat.
no heat. You can touch the Magnetic Mallet is
No, ma
cold.
on the bone, I mean. No heat
No,
on
no,
the
but
bone.
it's cold. I use it.
Oh yeah, because the other, I forgot. Typically it is 1 push per second, so 1001, 1002, 1000, like that. It's not gonna overheat. Even if you go faster, you can go faster. It's not going to burn.
Ok. Fai clic questo. Here you have the control of the Newton, no? We can set 30 and check which torque we can reach is D4. Okay. It's not large enough. But we have to go deeper because it's cylindric. Okay, comparing is thinner, so I have to over prepare in length in this case. In other case you can use the final drill of your kit. We are now trying this implant, but I don't know which implant you usually use. So to enlarge the size I'm going more deep than 11.5 millimeters. Okay, 13. Power 3. But it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. $11, 13, for me is enough. You can check the passivity of the tip inside the bone. So it means that he finished the suspension. Okay. Now it's oversized. Usually, in this case, it's at 3.3. I suggest to finish with the second tip and use the final drill to work on the apex area. Okay. It's arrived. This is a space around the neck, okay, because it's overexpanded from the third insert, but the stability is high, not super high, is D4 here, but it's high. It's a good torque. Okay, not for immediate loading, but enough for a good ostintegration. And we saved all the bone. You can see the color around. Okay, that shows how the medullary bone is collapsed. But you can enjoy different sides. This is nice because often up in the posterior, like the implant I put it in the tuber, you have D4, especially in women's, and often the implant goes in spinning. So preparing the site only with mallet, you always reach enough stability for the implant, always. And often, not always, but often, very often, you can load the implant. So I want to try a split. Va bene così, Claudio? Ok.
Penso che vada bene. Vuoi provarla sempre su questo?
Sì, sì. Sì.
Remember guys, finding the right spot to have because
Yes,
the goal here for you is to have a good feeling with the handpiece in your hands. You're not fighting the pig because.
Okay, split the cut. So the first tip is this one. So you don't have to try in this area because it's too much cortical. You can't cut the bone here, but more distally.
Distally from the heart.
Yes, Here the cortical bone is visible thinner. Okay, you can see the blood under the cortical bone.
Vabbè, lì faresti anche gli scarichi volendo, però
Sì,
non si
vabbè.
fa, nessuno li fanno.
Okay, so it's very thin, like in. Partiamo con uno.
Ah, uno?
Sì, yes, I want to try with one. Okay, one to cut the cortical bone is not enough, but I want to show you. He entered.
Yeah.
No, not enough. Andiamo a 3. Okay.
3.
3. Now I'm cutting. You can decide to stay in the same place or go out and move next. I used to go mesial or distal, moving in this direction. Like this, okay? Or like this. Then like this, okay? So you can enlarge going mesial to distal and starting from how is 5 millimeters, 7 millimeters?
4, 8, 12.
4, 8, 12. Not the length, but the weight. La larghezza is 5 millimeters. Okay.
Non mi ricordo.
The cutting area is around 5 millimeters, but maybe you need to cut a longer surface. So I suggest to start
0.2.
making lo spessore, ma la larghezza.
Ah, la larghezza non so.
Okay. So I suggest not to go directly at the final depth, but to design the cutting line. Okay. The cutting line. So usually you don't have to sustain the patient. Okay, you can make different cuts or you can move like this and then go deeper, go back, move next and go deeper and deeper and deeper, and push by push you will see the opening of the bone. You have to check, this is in every kind of split crest, the complete cutting, the complete separation between the vestibular and lingual or palatal bone. So you have to pass several times to be sure that you don't have any point of contact you see, I'm going to connect the several cuts I made. So, with the cutter, questo qua, the cut, this is a bit wider. So, it cuts less, and start opening the bone. So, it's really important you have a complete separation of the two cortical with the first tip. You can go now slower because you have only to open the bone, and if it doesn't happen, doesn't mean that you have to increase the power. Probably means that you have a deep cortical bone, so you have to produce two incisional lines, osteotomies, yes, to better leave the bone expanding.
Do that with the piezo or something else because we have.
It depends. On the maxilla, you can use also.
Yes, on the maxilla, but on the mandible.
Mandibular is better.
Yeah.
It's better, yes, because when you have D1, this is very, very thin.
Yes, we cannot cut 3 millimeters.
It's not nice to break the tip. Okay, so I'm going to 11 now, to 11.5, because at the end we want to insert an implant. Ok. No?
Sì, proviamo. Proviamo, sì, sì.
Te lo metto. I'll try, because it's very thin. Okay? The literature say that you have to start splitting on the wide, minimal wide is 3 millimeters. So you can harvest some bone to increase the width.
Let's do like this. Are you okay if he tries to place an implant? You're not gonna. If it cracks, you know that we are.
Okay, it's not
extreme.
it's not ideal situation, but
Yeah.
so the power is still 2. I'm going. So you have a flat area and convex area. The convex is on the side that you want to expand, and the flat is completely passive. So this is the thinnest, the not the thinnest, the most thin. I'm only pushing and entering, but I want to use the mallet. Okay.
So expander.
Yes.
3. È l'ultimo questo.
Yes. No, perché il 3?
Sì, è 3. Il secondo è il 4.
Sì. Ah, expander 1. No. Expander 2. E perché il 2 ce n'è più grosso?
Il 2 è più grosso perché il 3 è quello
Sì,
attivo
sì.
passivo.
Ok. No, il 3 io uso sempre questo. I always use this. Because in split crest you want to move only one. Okay? If you have good bone D3, you can use also this one. Expander 2 is very wide. Okay? So I don't use this because after the blade I start using osteotomes. So I finish my expansion with the osteotomes. Okay, so I'm reaching 11.5 and 1 millimeters more because in split crest you have to insert the implant under the bone level to balance the bone resorption that always we have at the marginal bone. After that we start using the tips for bone expansion, the osteotomes. Now we have cutted the bone and we can choose where we want to insert the implant. In the middle, maybe yes, is the best place without osteotomy. I'm using power 2. Okay, the bone is splitted. I don't need power. Okay, and I move the insert in the bone. Okay, to expand a bit. I go with the second one. 160. There is a lot of elastic return. Okay, now we have control. If we are using the normal mallet in this situation and we don't have control, it's easy to break the cortical bone because it's easy to change the direction and to open, to crack the bone. Okay, another thing you can do is to leave inside, okay, to don't stay with the mallet, and wait few seconds. Wait to leave the bone enlarge. Okay, is more gentle you are with the bone, and more gentle is the bone with you. When you can remove with 2 fingers, is okay. There is a lot of elastic return, a lot. So, a lot of elastic return. Prova a fare gli scarichi, questo si chiude.
Prova a fare gli scarichi.
It's too much dry. Not enough elastic to stay open. It close again. I can try to...
O abbiamo dei culi, ma non li abbiamo. Nel senso che fai un...
Yes, we have some...
più lunga.
quelli sono della Sveden, no?
Sì, ma non posso dire. You don't have the wedges, right? You don't have the wedges.
No. There are some tools that you can insert on the left and the right of the mallet to leave the bone open. So you can remove the mallet and go with the implant. Va bene? I'm trying to enlarge more. I can try to make some lateral cuts.
Lo vuoi più alto
Sì,
però?
sì, sì. Now we need more power, no? Because it's only cortical bone.
Prendilo così, sì. So this is where you
Okay.
want to use a drill or a microsaw because it's
Too fast, too fast.
Do you have to press hard on your hand?
Now I'm pressing, yes. I'm pressing. And you move. And you move. And you move. This is the control of the direction that you can have. When you are okay, you feel okay, you push the button. Okay. It's very thin, eh?
Literally working on thin ice. Literally.
Okay, I think now it's possible to insert the implant.
Hai preparato anche con 230?
Eh?
Hai preparato anche con
No,
230?
non ci va.
Non l'avevi usato prima per preparare per quello?
Qua sì, ma qui no.
Lì, quindi vai
Sono
dentro
andato,
lo
sì,
segreto.
sì, sì, sì. Okay, now I need to clear.
Secondo te di quanto è quella cresta?
This is 3 millimeters, but here is it's very thin. Usually,
2.8, 2.6?
yes, usually in this situation you have a very thin bone, so it's suggested, very, very suggested, recommended to increase the volume with bone chips. Okay. I miss my assistant. I really miss her. So in this case, are you seeing how is bending? This is what's happening when you use the racket. That's why we were talking earlier about the insertion with the pressure, because you have no stability. And in this moment you can crack the bone if you didn't enlarge it enough.
We're still placing a 3 point. How much is the implant?
3.3 in 3 millimeters of bone.
Or less. So
This is challenging. Under 3 millimeters is suggested the two-step technique. The first step is only splitting, and after 1 month you enter again to insert the implant. Okay. We were lucky this time because I'm not seeing no crack, but it's possible to see some cracks on the. It's not a problem, eh? No cracks here is a good result, especially because it was an elastic bone,
Very dry.
very dry.
So it's not a realistic situation,
not realistic
but I
situation.
believe that it's clear that if we were using drills, there was no way to place an implant there.